Hello, good people of the internet. Welcome to the Unlearning Playground, an everyday life podcast by Chetan Narang. There was this book I once read. It was called The Design of Everyday Things by Dan Norman. And if I remember correctly, that guy was, or I believe he still is, the design professor in some really good college in the US. And he speaks a lot about good design, how to identify a bad design, things of that sort. And he has been very vocal about doors. I know you probably weren't expecting this, but yes, doors. In fact, he has been so vocal about bad design in doors that if you were to Google Norman doors, it is actually a real thing. He has been on about bad doors for so long that people have actually decided to name bad doors as Norman doors. And what does he mean by a Norman door? He specifically talks about doors which could have been really simple. Like if you really just talk about first principles, those are supposed to be just something that you cross to cross over this threshold. That's pretty much it. But somehow we've complicated doors so much that you could be approaching a door and from a very close distance to you might not know whether you're supposed to push it or you're supposed to pull it or you're supposed to just stand there and watch it open. And very similarly, we have all had these instances in our lives where we have pushed at a door that was supposed to be pulled or pulled at one that was supposed to be pushed. And now we're in this awkward position where people are staring at us and we don't know what to do next. So he talks a lot about these kind of bad design indoors. But what he also talks about in that book is how good design just falls into the background. And all we tend to focus on are the bad designs. And he also talks about this thing with respect to doors, that he has been noticing bad doors for so long that he might have actually noticed good doors, or he might have been surrounded by good doors all around him, but he could not appreciate them because he wasn't noticing them. And that is the topic for this episode. Perfection is the enemy of the good. Now, this is applicable in our lives both when we're thinking about the future as well as when we're reminiscing about the past. Isn't it? When we're thinking about the future, we might have so many different permutations in front of us. This is what we could be doing, this is what we should be doing, this is what would lead to a perfect outcome, and things of that sort. While all we really need to do at this moment is to do the best that we can, is to do the good that we can. And slowly but surely, perfect follows, right? But somehow it is very possible that we get stuck in this anxious loop of trying to be perfect right now. Whereas all you need to do is to do the best right now. And that's all. And very similarly, when we're reminiscing about the past, we can really get stuck in this loop where it can almost become depressing to realize that what the hell was I doing back then? I could have been so much better. I could have done so many things differently. And at these moments, it is very important to remember that the present self, the present version of you, is talking in hindsight about the past version. That past version most probably thought that whatever it did at that time is the best that could have been done, right? So now, even if you think that something could have been different, it might have been different, but there is no point thinking in that fashion. And it only leads to more anxiety, more depression, because you keep on focusing on what is wrong, what could have been, rather than what is. And when I say all of this, I'm not just talking out of a romantic idea that things are already perfect and things are already good. Not at all. I'm just trying to tell you rationally that you cannot change your past. You cannot know for sure what will happen in the future because life is innately complex in that sense, right? There are just so many different triggers, so many different forces acting on any single moment that you cannot know that your action will lead to a particular outcome, right? Life is innately complex in that sense. But then life is also innately simple because all you need to do is to do what you think is the best at this moment, because nothing else is really in your control anyway. So I think this is where I would end the episode itself. Perfect is the enemy of the good. Do not let your ideas of what perfect could look like hamper what good you can do right now. And also, when you're reminiscing about the past, do not let your current ideas of what is perfect or what could have been perfect hamper what good you did back then. And then, no matter how different we want it to be, now is all there is. The current moment is all there ever is. Don't just try to remember or reinforce that. Know the truth behind it. Know that, realize that, and see your internal dialogue untangling. Until next time, peace out.